In the beginning, there were only regular fights, simple and mundane tiffs between humans and other things. But as the things learned to fight back, something new was created. The boss fight. The boss fight increased in difficulty, all the way to nightmare mode. Soon, there was no hope for the mere mortal human. But then, the greatest sage and the greatest battle master started to share their wisdom with others. You're now about to listen to that wisdom. The great wisdom of Austin and Aubrey.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Boss Fight with Austin and Aubrey. I'm Austin.
And I am Aubrey.
Yes, you've made it back to episode 2. You've done it. You climbed the hurdle. You did the steeplechase. You put through the water pit, and now you are here on the other side.
Right, you have really won this race. But Austin, I have to point out that this week your voice sounds velvety and smooth and silky, instead of last week where you sounded like you lived in a well and we were recording from the top of the well, but you were at the bottom of the well.
Well, so nice. There's two big reasons why that's the case. One, I did get out of the well. It's all good. I had a nice hot cup of tea and a blanket, and I dried off, and I'm good to go. And I'm at the top of the well now, looking down on what once was. The second bit is that I have a new microphone. I say I have a new microphone. It is new. The fact that I have a microphone at all is a big step in the right direction. And that is only because we made so much money off of the first episode.
I know.
Wow. $20,000. Can you believe it? Because I couldn't.
Yeah, and I still don't. Because we didn't actually make... Okay, it was $19,998, and Austin likes to round up. What the big deal is that we're here to announce our first Boss Fight with Austin and Aubrey movie, paired with a spin-off TV show already. So that's exciting.
Now, the movie is straight to DVD. That is... we did have to make some concessions there, but we are getting a movie. So look out for that in theaters. Not theaters. I just said it was straight to DVD. Maybe you go to one of those theaters where like they play old movies.
Yes, because our movie will be set in the 1940s and will actually be filmed in the 1940s. Yeah, is the other cool thing.
Yeah, a lot of strategic planning went into this. Really glad it's coming to fruition. This has been a passion project of ours for, a week. Yeah, but anyway, no. We have enjoyed doing the show for all one episode, and we want to continue doing so. And if that requires a business investment, so be it. So coming at you live in person is me and this microphone. And I do that for you because I care about you. And I'm talking to both the listener and you, Aubrey.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that you're talking to me. Should we explain what this show is in case somebody's hopping in the second episode?
Yeah, for sure. Why don't you go ahead and regale us with the details?
All right. So Boss Fight with Austin and Aubrey is a show where we take your biggest boss fights in your life, whether something is hanging out in your backyard and you want it to go away, if there's a pesky fly in your house, or a wizard shows up on your front door and challenges you to a duel. We're there to help you because we are the greatest sage and greatest battle master of all time. So how about we get into that? That sound good?
Yeah, that sounds great. What's our first boss we're taking down?
All right. So this one comes in. This is a Gmail question. This is great. I really like this one. Dear Austin and Aubrey, I'm fighting a Virgo next week. What are their strengths and weaknesses in a fistfight scenario? Love, the real Zodiac killer.
Excellent.
Yes, and I love that for multiple reasons. One is the moniker. That's beautiful. But here's the deal, though. We discussed last week on how to take down tigers and vending machines, but it's not very varied, right? It's not that different. But there are so many different zodiac signs. You've got your Virgos, you've got your Sagittarius, your Pisces, your Scoobies, your Shaggies, your Velmas, Freds, Daphnes, and your Hayden Christensen's version of Anakin Skywalker in the prequels. And those are all the zodiacs.
Yes.
And
all of them.
And they're just also different.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I follow my horoscope religiously, so I know everything there is to know about the different signs. So Aubrey, this will be a fun exercise. We just why don't you give me some questions about each of the different kinds of zodiac signs, and I'll let you know something about them. You can kind of a little lightning round it.
All right, good. Okay, ready? Taurus.
That's a Pokemon that came out in first generation.
Leo.
So Leo is this guy who was in my freshman year environmental science class. He's kind of a nerd.
Chandler. If you're a Chandler.
Yeah. Well, could they be any more predictable?
Am I right? Velmas.
So Velma, they're always analyzing, trying to get that clue, trying to figure out what is going to lead me to the solution of this problem. And namely, that problem is there's a ghost torturing this old, beaten down amusement park. But they found out it was really just Old Man Jenkins the whole time. Speaking of Old Man Jenkins, how many people have you met in your life that have fallen under the sign Old Man Jenkins?
Just an obscene amount, right?
Yeah, and every one of them is always trying to get their money grubbing hands on stuff that's just for kids. The Trix Rabbit. The Trix Rabbit,
yeah.
He's actually Old Man. He falls under the sign Old Man Jenkins because he's. You know what they say? Tricks are just for kids, but he will not let it go, and he needs it all to himself. Selfish rabbit.
It's saying every child who goes after that Lucky Charms leprechaun as well, who goes after those Lucky Charms, they just want to steal it from that nice little leprechaun man, who we've talked about too much already because he was a solid minute in our last episode.
We're batting 1,000 on Lucky the Leprechaun right now.
Hello and welcome to Boss Fight with Austin and Aubrey. It's a show where we talk about cereal mascots for 45 minutes and we eat cereal, and it's great audio quality as we crunch away.
Special sponsor and friend of the show, Lucky Charms by Kellogg?
I think it's General Mills.
Is it General? Damn it. I had a 50-50 basically, and I missed.
Also, General Mills is one of the strongest zodiac signs that you can get if you're born under that one.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
Yeah, you get all of, you think of your typical general. I mean, you've got all these battle tactics. You're just kind of stronger. You're a good shot. You're a good leader. When you need car insurance, you just go online and you save some time. You're best friends with Shaq. It's a good day.
Now hold on. I don't think I realized those were the same general.
They're all the same general.
It's all General Mills.
The
general is General Mills.
Every general is General Mills.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What you heard it here first, folks.
I can't think of any other generals in my mind besides General Mills and the general from those car insurance commercials.
To be fair, those are some pretty strong ones, and maybe one day we'll talk about how to take them down. But we are specifically talking about Virgos.
Right. Okay.
Now.
But that's okay. So Virgos. If you're born underneath the sign of a Virgo. What you really need to know is that everyone born underneath the sign of a Virgo has extendo arms. They can reach really far with their arms. So in a fist fight scenario, you're kind of stuck. You better back up.
Yeah,
it's the biggest thing.
I mean, you've seen Inspector Gadget. That's Virgo 101 right there.
Yeah, he's the ultimate. He's actually Virgo didn't exist until Inspector Gadget did, and then once he died, he was put up into the stars, and now
Yeah,
he's a sign.
he was Virgo incarnate, and
Inspector
he reigns
Virgo
a
and Virgo.
Virgo.
Inspector Virgo Gadget. Inspecto
Inspecto
Patronum
Virgit.
Virgit Gadget. So I guess the answer is sorry, the real Zodiac Killer. You're gonna lose this fight unless you find a friend that is born underneath the sign of General Mills.
So okay, that is good. You can team up with an ally. And aside from finding the greatest general and his chosen, you will have a numbers advantage. So that's good. Now I will say I don't think you've automatically lost, because the thing about Virgos is because they've got so many tools at their disposal, it's a real jack of all trades, master of none situation. So if you can anticipate their attacks, get in a rhythm, and then just do them better, like you're gonna have a huge leg up.
Right. Because of course, if you fight better, you win the fight. It's a lot like sports ball, where if you score the more points, then you win.
Yeah, the keys to victory in this fight: do more damage, take less damage, and win the fight, and that's how you'll win the fight.
Yeah, where this is beautiful advice. I thought you were going somewhere different, where when you said jack of all trades versus master of none, and I thought you were going to say if you can master one thing, that means you can win. And I thought you were going to suggest like just do a lot of push-ups, just master push-ups, and when you've mastered push-ups, then you win.
Now that is a fair strategy, because mastering push-ups is it's a good life skill.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who
that's the only thing Batman does to train his body.
Well, yeah, as someone who doesn't work out basically ever, what the picture in my head I have of people who work out, and maybe this is why I don't do it, is people just doing push-ups all day long. Like literally days, like no sleeping, no eating, just push-ups. Maybe that's the rhythm you kind of got into. Maybe your base state is push-ups. So that way when you're not doing push-ups, your body's like, "Oh my god, I'm free to do so much more." It's like when Goku in Dragon Ball Z, when he went into that super gravity chamber and then he walked out of it and he could fly. That was You want to know the crazy thing is I was 100% going to make a Dragon Ball Z reference to explain this analogy, and then I dialed it back and was going to go sports. But this is way better. I was like, yeah, it's like when Goku and Gohan went into the hyperbolic time chamber and they trained while they were just in Super Saiyan all the time, so it got natural and they could just default to that. Yeah, that's where I was gonna go, but then I was like, no, it's like when you're going up to bat and you put the heavy thing around your bat and then you swing better because you take the thing off.
Hey, who would win in a fight, do you think? Goku or General Mills?
Now this is tough. How long has Goku been in the hyperbolic time chamber?
Not very long, but you do have to remember that Goku's a Scorpio.
That's a huge disadvantage already.
Mm-hmm. So I think it's pretty even.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of General Mills, like what kind of fighter General Mills is, right? Because
he's a general fighter. He just fights generally.
Overall, but does he do the Dragon Ball thing where like it's always a one-on-one fight and people just stand on the sidelines and wait for you to charge up your big attack because they're really cocky that it won't actually do that much? Because then I think Goku can squeeze out a victory because he's pretty good at sort of, biding his time and charging up a big attack and then kind of winning that way. But if General Mills does the thing where he's like, no, I'm actually just going to fight you, I think Goku's going to lose for sure.
Yeah. Hey, we got to get off of this because this isn't our podcast. Our podcast is helping people win fights. What matters is Question Asker, is the real Zodiac Killer. And what matters to see how we can help you is you have to think about, what is your astrological sign? Question asker. Are you a Pisces? Because that means that you get to turn into two people instead of just being one, and you can use that to your advantage.
That's true. Now, it's weird. Not a lot of people, not a lot of Pisces have tapped into this power because they assume that only Geminis can do that.
Yeah.
But it's Pisces.
It's crazy. But if you are a Gemini, you get rock hard skin if you just really concentrate really hard. So that's cool. I'm not a Gemini, so I haven't mastered it, but that exists.
I am a Gemini, and let me tell you something. I'm rock hard all the time.
Can I tell you something? As a Sagittarius,
Yes.
I am too, but that's just because I'm always horny. The thing. I just that's my it's our greatest strength and greatest weakness as Sagittarius.
Oh, what a curse you bear.
Okay, but I think
shit.
question answer is clearly not a Virgo. So that leaves only one more that I know of, and I know all of them. So that means we're going to cover.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And that is Libras. That's it.
Libra the zebra.
Libra the zebra, as everybody knows that.
Yeah,
so,
that's classic. Yeah.
And here's the cool thing. No two Libras are alike. You can't tell them exactly by their
Which is unfortunate
stripes.
in preparing for this fight.
Yeah.
For your opponent, because if you are a Libra, he's not going to know what kind of like what stripes do you have, That's going to throw him off his. Can you have your opponent believe that you're a Libra, kind of throw him off his game, so he's always like guessing?
Right, exactly. If you go into this fight and pretend that you have all kinds of different powers, being a Libra, right? You come in and you flex a little bit, and this Virgo thinks, oh man, shit, super strength, and then you kind of like bounce up and down as if you're ready to fly, and they're like, oh no, it must be a Libra. Anything could happen at this point. I think you're gonna psych out your opponent, even if he's got the extendo arms.
Yeah, because one thing I know, and I know so few things, but one thing I do know is that for people who are really into like the astrological stuff, which if you know the sign of the person that you're fighting, it means that they've told you, and if they've told you, it means they have some weird stake in all of the astrological mumbo jumbo. But the one thing I know about these people is that they don't know shit about anything actually. They're like, you're a Scorpio. And you're like, no, I'm a Gemini. And like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. They get confused all the time. And you're like, joke's on you, I'm a Pisces, you fuck.
And then boom, you're two people and you beat the hell out of them.
Yeah, you punch them and shit.
Yeah, just a few good crosses.
Have we told anybody that they should probably just do some punches?
No, but that's good advice, and we don't do that here.
Let's get out of this in front and say anything we say is valid and excellent advice and a supplement to do some punches.
Yeah. Just know that the default is do some punches and then add in our advice. Like, we know you already know to do punches.
Now I'm gonna rephrase it in a way that sounds like we're actually doing something on this show for you, and that's take our advice. Always just remember in the back of your mind, interweave some punches. So
yeah,
like, it's mostly us, but you do have to supply your own punches. BYOP, as it were.
How about we give somebody else some advice that isn't just punches? Let's add some punches here. Because I don't think punches are going to help very much for this next one. This also comes in from Gmail. This is Dear Fight Experts. I can't open a jar of tomato basil spaghetti sauce. It's imperative that I do because I love my pasta. I'm a normal human with normal arms, below average wrists, and a thirst for victory. Help me win this boss fight. Sincerely, Starving Girl.
Okay, well, you're already at a disadvantage because you are starving, and that's gonna take a lot of your like sort of core muscle competencies and really reduce them to level one. Like you're back to level one.
Mm-hmm.
So what I think you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to just do the old-fashioned grind. You're gonna have to get out in the forest. You're gonna have to kill those boars until you get back your stats
Right.
back up to a point where you can contest this jar of tomato basil sauce.
I love where your head's at, but I do want to correct one thing about that statement, and that if it this in this game, it's a very enemy specific killing experience kind of thing. So if she wants to get to the tomato sauce, she's got to start by killing the tomatoes in the forest, and then killing the pasta beings and things like that in the forest until she can get up to the tomato sauce.
Yes, Aubrey, you were right. Specific monsters. I was speaking generally, but we are specifically talking about this listener with a specific problem. I'm not being fair to you, the listener, and I apologize. So we'll dial it in. Focus on the pasta and the tomatoes and the basil.
Now, yeah, you can. There's all kinds of things. I do have an alternative plan if question asker doesn't want to go through the grind, though. It'll still take a while, but I think it's less repetitive if you're
Okay.
willing to hear it.
Okay, what we working with?
So the problem is the wrists, right? That's the twisting thing, right? So we got to find a way to make the twisting motion stronger. So step number 1 is you join your local police force. That's step number 1. And then you rise yourself through the ranks until you're important, right? Become real close with your partner. People respect you. They know you're a good cop or a good detective. Maybe if you get that far, they'll know that. 3, do this all in a place where technology is very far and advanced. It's an advanced kind of technology.
Okay, this is sort of a long-term investment strategy.
It is.
Okay.
4, get killed on the job.
Oh, okay. This is a big twist.
Yes. 5, wake up after you've had intensive surgery that has changed your arms and other parts of your body into mechanical things. You're the new RoboCop. But no, and this only, okay, I have to be clear. This only works if you tell your partner how important it is to you that you want to open jars of spaghetti sauce. Because that way, when you're out, your partner walks up and says, she always had the dream to open some spaghetti sauce. And then they put that kind of thing in there. And you're basically a superhero. You're a cyborg that can open up anything ever.
Yeah. We're talking jars. We're talking big heavy doors.
Yes.
We're talking safes.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. No, scratch that. I think I'm morally obligated not to tell you not to open safes with your powers. Please use them for good.
You can, if that safe has a thing that will save the world, you will open that safe. Bottles. Yeah. You could open bottles. That's one.
Yeah, bottles are good. They contain liquids that we need.
Yeah, you can open up regular doors, not the big heavy ones. You can open up you can open up anything. I think, hold on, what's a good name for someone who can do that? The skeleton key.
Oh, okay, that's way better. I was just gonna say the opener and do like a dumb joke, but you actually had a good one.
So you go by two names. One is the skeleton key, and the other one is the opener. You can live a dual. You can, instead of living a dual life, you can live a triple life. That's fine. You've got it.
The most important thing is that you learn to open up your own heart. So we got another question, or?
Okay, so here's the other problem. Here's the other thing. So while this is a long-term plan for you to get this mechanical appendages, and in that time, tomato basil spaghetti sauce is also probably going to go through either something horrific or just train and get really good, which means it's going to become more powerful as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, basically, you could grind it out and then just open the jar of spaghetti sauce, or you could go through this epic way and get to an epic battle. UV spaghetti jar, spaghetti sauce jar,
Right.
who goes by the closer and AKA
Oh, yeah.
Tomahto, I guess would be the best thing I could think of. It's not
Tomato. Well, it's actually three names. Some people call him Tomato, and some people call him Tomahto. There's a really big debate.
right. So that you have to fight that. But you can open up anything, and even that even means doors to your career. So if you want to open up your
Yeah.
heart and then forgive spaghetti sauce and then move past it, and you're opening big doors for yourself, metaphorically, and you could really help a lot of people. So just know that those are basically your only two options. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Running it under hot water won't work. Tabbing it with getting that knife underneath it won't work. Asking somebody else to do it definitely won't work.
No, for sure.
Hitting it with a
What's your-
hammer won't work.
Yeah, what's your loadout though? What are you working with? Because they do have those tools that are specifically made to open jars. Maybe you just slot one of those into your specials, and you tuck that one away.
Right.
I mean, you got to unlock it. It's like one of the
It's weird.
things to unlock, which is weird, but
It's one of those you have to go through one of those pointless mini games, but you have to get to the
Oh,
very
God.
last level. It's
and
we
you,
get
and
it.
you have to find all the gold coins on the way.
Ugh. God, what a see. You don't want to grind that out either, right? Because that's even more
especially-
boring than that. So
It's
just
gonna take a lot of time, and
Uh,
you need that pasta now. It sounds like.
yeah, so clearly what you need to do is turn into the skeleton key, and then you'll
Yes.
be golden.
Become one with keys.
Yeah. Hey, okay. Here's here's the next question.
Okay.
Oh my god, I love this one so much. And this is gonna break our podcast. I'm warning you right now. We might have to end this podcast on this
man.
episode just because of this question.
Well, it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, but here it goes. Hey, Austin and Aubrey. Clearly, the best part of every video game is when you come face to face with the, quote, dark version of the hero. My question is, how do you take down Nega Aubrey and Nega Austin? Your feedback is very important to me. Love, totally not going to use this against you. So
that is a really good question. And surprisingly, for someone who hosts a podcast specifically about taking down bosses, I have not given this much thought. Which seems a little unfair. Nega Austin and Nega Aubrey.
So we have to have some caveats. If it's me versus Nega me and Austin versus Nega Austin and it's two separate fights, that's one way to think about it. If we're
Right.
teaming up, clearly we fight the other person's Nega form, right? I would fight Nega Austin. You would fight Wall Aubrey. Because it's not Nega Aubrey, it's just the Wall version of me. It's just the Wall version of me, Wall Aubrey.
So my issue with this is that there's no way I could fight regular Aubrey. So having to fight his dark counterpart that presumably is fueled by hatred and anger and only seeks to destroy us, I don't know that I'd stand a chance. I'm gonna get out in front of this and say you kick the shit out of Mega Austin. I don't think there's any debate about it. I just think the other part of the fight is a little dicey.
It's okay. Well, then what you're saying is that it's like a tournament bracket, and I'm gonna have to fight myself. And here's the problem, Austin. I'm not sure if I could beat me either. I mean, physically we'd be matched. Mentally we'd be matched because we have the same brain, right? We are thinking the same thoughts all the time. Emotionally, right there, I mean, I think Nega Aubrey would say some really hurtful words.
See, that's the thing I'm afraid about, is that Nega Austin is born of me and full of malice and knows all of my deepest, darkest secrets and doesn't have like the moral wherewithal to not say anything that would completely cut me to my core.
I don't want Nega Aubrey to blast on the Twitter sphere what part of Shrek makes me nut, because that's embarrassing to me. I don't want everybody knowing that.
Like, it's because
oh shit, now they all know that there is a part. Oh god.
Honestly,
see, Nega Aubrey's already doing it. Nega Aubrey sent this question and it's making this happen.
Oh god. Oh no, it's happening.
Oh god. Okay. You know, there's just a lot of deep dark secrets that I have to keep secret.
Yeah, I mean, by their very nature, they are secret and should be kept so. Nega Austin knows things about me that, like, if they came out, they would completely destroy my credibility. Like, because Aubrey, you and I are just talking and no one's listening. This is just for us. Like, an example would be like, I don't actually like horses that much. I mean, sorry. I mean, they think they're ugly and they're smelly and I hate them. But I don't say that. I don't say
that. Okay, I'll keep your secret.
Thanks. I really appreciate that.
I don't need everybody to know that when I eat orange slices, I also eat the peels, because that's where the vitamins are, even though it doesn't taste that great.
You're a monster.
I know.
What have you become?
My parents once told me that I used to do that with bananas too.
You just take a banana and just crunch the whole thing?
Yeah, until they taught me how to peel it.
How did your parents look? Okay,
but they thought it was funny, so they waited to do it.
They just let you eat bananas.
I used to hide underneath the tables and try to sneak bananas as if they were unhealthy candy or something. But I didn't know how to peel them, so I just ate it with the peel. I don't anymore, but I do the orange peel thing. That's not actually for goofs, and I kind of feel weird about it, but that's the healthiest part of the fruit. And it leaves a little bit of zest.
Oh my god. That's one of the greatest parenting things, I think. That's amazing.
I haven't told my parents about this. I haven't told this podcast about my parents yet, except I just did. I haven't told my parents about this podcast yet. Just okay, so hear me out. So they'll, I don't know, maybe I've lost it through time, and I'll tell them about this, and they'll listen to it, and they'll tell me that I was wrong, and I'm misremembering it. But yes, that's what I remember.
Oh my god, that's it. That adds a new depth to the person I know as Aubrey.
Anyways, if Nega Aubrey came to being and knew that, he'd probably blast it out to everybody, probably through some podcast that he knows that all of my friends listen to.
Yeah. Well, on the flip side,
people.
On the flip side, could you just come at Nega Aubrey with a banana and see what he does?
You're right. Nega Aubrey's probably never learned to eat a banana properly. And that's how I'm going to get him.
Because you had to be taught. So Nega Aubrey would also theoretically have to be taught, right? So if you just give him a banana
and just go eat it
and watch him go to town, maybe you flip it around and you embarrass him, and then he crumbles into a pile of ash because he's so embarrassed.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be the way. Basically, what I'm getting at is complete and utter humiliation is going to settle the fight in either direction. So the idea would be to get a jump on our Neg account but they know all of the inside scoop, and that might be a little tricky.
Here's my other problem. If Nega Aubrey comes at me, if I go, here, this is a banana, and he holds out a mango and goes, here, cut this up properly, we're equally fucked, and it's a tie.
That's a huge.
I'm so bad at that. My biggest arch nemesis is fruits. Fruit is my biggest arch nemesis.
Fruit historically been a touchy subject for Aubrey.
I've clearly, I don't know. Good news is that that means my greatest ally is scurvy, because that's the opposite.
Can you contract scurvy before your nega comes out? That way, he also has scurvy.
But he can't eat fruits, so then he dies of scurvy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You have picked up the correctly eat some fruits talent, whereas he has not skilled into that yet.
Nega Aubrey is a scurvy-ridden pirate who doesn't have the necessary motor skills to peel bananas or cut up mangoes. So now that we've figured out how to defeat our darker selves, we would that went terribly. Let me try that again. Now that we figured out how to defeat our darker selves, we would love to help you win your boss fights. And all you have to do is send us an email. Send us an email at bossfightcast@gmail.com, and we will do that.
Alternatively, you can send us a tweet or a DM on Twitter. We are at bossfightcast, and we'll be looking out for your questions. And also, if you have anything you want to share of a recent challenge or boss that you've conquered, we'd love to hear about it and share that with everyone. I think we have any other housekeeping stuff we have to go over.
Yeah, if you want, you could check out podsitivethoughts.com. That's P-O-D. That is PODSITIVE thoughts.com. It's something that we're starting up. We finally have a logo. We've got 2 shows where we might be expanding to 3 or 4 soon. So that's very exciting. And they're both great. The other show on the quote unquote network is Okay, So Hear Me Out, one that I do with my girlfriend Hannah. Austin was a guest on our 3rd episode, so go check that out. And other than that, I think we're done.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, special thank you to my brother, Adam Lawhorn, for doing our really good voiceover on our intro that you'll hear this episode now. We really like the way that it turned out, and we really appreciate him donating his voice to the show.
Also, just thank you to everybody who sent in questions so far. It's really helped us. They're so good.
Yes, we have really
so
enjoyed,
good.
We've really enjoyed getting in these questions. So please, lobby questions from people turn them to the show. Like we'd love to get their input, and we'd love to be able to continue this really, really fun hobby that we've been talking about doing for a long time, and have actually now sat down and made a priority in our lives. And we really appreciate that you all are letting us do that for you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Once again, we will see you next week. And bye.
Music starts now.
And now cue music. And then I'm going to put in that part where you say 3 nipples.
I don't want everyone knowing that I have